Stretching about 600 miles wide, the Drake's Passage sits between the South America and the Cape Horn. There's a place on Earth where the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans collide, where waves can rise literally like buildings and the winds that never seem to rest. And even today, the modern ships think twice before crossing it. That is the Drake's Passage, one of the most dangerous stretches of ocean on the planet. It's not just a body of water, it's a boundary. Here, the relative mild climate of the Tierra del Fuego gives way to the brutal frozen world of the Antarctica that you are literally crossing from one climate zone to another. And about that, despite being named after the famous explorer Sir Francis Drake, he never actually sailed through it. The first recorded crossing happened in 1616. It was led by a Dutch expedition under William Schouten. But the Drake's Passage really earned its reputation centuries later, before the Panama Canal was opened in 1940. The ships had no choice but to go around Cape Horn. That means facing the full force of the Drake's Passage with all of their violent storms and the freezing temperatures and the unpredictable seas. For the sailors, it wasn't just another route, it was really very dangerous path to obey and to pass out that. Regarding its geography, it is beneath the surface lies something just as impressive. On average, the passage is about 11,000 feet deep, which is over than 3 kilometers, and in some areas it plunges even deeper, reaching nearly 15,600 feet. The ocean floor here tells a very different story. Near South America, you'll find very sandy and silty sediments. But as you move towards the Antarctica, the seabed becomes dominated by the material dropped by the drifting icebergs, which is the frozen messengers carrying pieces of the continent itself. Now, what's really made Drake's Passage very infamous is the weather conditions. Very powerful westerly winds constantly sweep through this region, especially near the Cape Horn region, where the massive low pressure systems, which are cyclones, are formed, which roll in the Pacific, and the move starts to eastward, bringing very dangerous storms. So the temperatures also don't help either way. In the north side of that, it might hover around 5 degrees Celsius, but as you move further to the south, it drops below freezing. And then there's water. In Antarctica, it can get as cold as -1 degree. Now I know that you are saying 0 degrees is the freezing point of water, but it does not actually work that way. So there's another something called as the Antarctic Convergence, a zone where the cold polar water meets the warmer northern water. It's like an invisible boundary in the ocean, which you can actually feel the temperature change if you start to cross it. So depending on the time of year, the Drake's Passage can look completely different. In the late summer, it's mostly ice free and you can go easily a little bit. But by the September, the sea ice can extend far to the north side, sometimes covering up to 25% of passage itself, and it occasionally sends the ice around towards the Cape Horn. And about the ocean currents in that region, the flowing through all this is the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, which is the most powerful ocean current on the earth. Indeed, yes. And it moves from the western side to the east, which carries an unimaginably volume of the water, which is roughly around millions of cubic meters every second. And because of the Drake's Passage narrows the space between continents, this current gets very squeezed up and the speed of the current increases more. So despite the extreme conditions, the life here thrives. The water are packed with plankton. Yes, plankton, which is especially krill. It is a tiny shrimp-like creatures which actually support the entire ecosystem of the Antarctica. They feed some of the largest animals on the earth, blue whales, fin whales, along with squid and the penguins and seals. Fish here are very adapted in the incredible ways. Some species like the Antarctic ice fish don't even have hemoglobin in their blood. meaning their blood is almost transparent. And the place like this cold evolution had to get very creative. It's a natural barrier and a climate divider and one of the most powerful oceanic forces on the earth. It's not just a stretch of water, the Drake's Passage, and it proves one more thing that the nature is still very dangerous out there.